So the law says sheriffs will never, police officers, state troopers, they'll never own a lawsuit, ever. There'll never be a lawsuit in the history of this country. This country will never produce a lawsuit where it says state trooper owns, ever. The law doesn't work that way. And so in court, there's this police officer, and he was explaining to the judge that he's trying to use big words and fancy sentences. He was trying to tell the judge that he owns a lawsuit, and his intentions are, and the U.S. Marshal tackled him, like football tackled him in court. And the judge went public and said, I told him to. And it happens all the time. Because, first off, the law will never have a lawsuit that says the police, the sheriffs, literally, when you claim a person's committed a crime and a cop commits a crime, they teach it to you. When you claim a police department's committed a crime, they teach it to you. They'll never own it, ever. And the reason they'll never own it is because in humanity it doesn't exist. So it will never be the police department in civil action, ever. And so the law says whenever the criminal produces the police department in civil action, it's instant death penalty for all of them. And the reason they commit rape and sodomy is so that way they could confuse riot with protest or whatnot. And so they could say, oh, well, it's easily confused sheriff department or ownership sheriff department with ownership person or whatnot. And the law actually says not only does murder and homicide hold the comparisons for that, whether or not a police officer is saying that he owns a civil suit or whether or not a police officer is saying the police department owns the civil suit. Murder and homicide determine the difference on whether or not the police officer is committing murder or homicide itself. So it's pretty horrible.